Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. The game that teaches us that, hmm, hmm. That apparently 50 fucking parts isn't enough. 50 isn't enough, is it? I am 99.9% sure that we are on part 57 right now. We are on part 57. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Once morning finally arrived, I yawned, heading downstairs to the kitchen where I thought I'd be getting started on preparing breakfast for all of us today. Instead, I was welcomed by the sound of active sizzling, as well as the smell of fish and soy sauce wafting invitingly through the air. Morning. I'm surprised to see you home on a Sunday morning. Oh, good morning, sweetie. I found myself with a little bit of free time and decided to stay home this morning. Now that's rare, like Christmas in July. There's someone admitting that they're wrong on the internet. You'd think that seeing one's parent at home during a weekend would be a given, but even I myself am often surprised by just how rare it is. Either way, it's not like it's an unwelcome surprise. It's kind of nice not having to cook breakfast every morning. Oh, and seeing Mom is cool too. Sorry, if I knew someone else would be in the kitchen, I'd have gotten dressed before coming downstairs. I was going to get started on breakfast before I put my uniform on. Have you already bathed, at least? It'll only be a few more minutes before I'm done cooking. It'd be a shame if you couldn't have your food while it's hot. That's alright. I finished my bath a good half an hour ago. I think Aki's the one in there right now. And your friend? Oh, right. She doesn't know that Keisuke barely sleeps. He wakes up really early in the morning. He's just sitting around in my room writing some stuff in his notebook. I'm glad your friends take their studies seriously as well. It's a good example for both you and your brother. Okay, first of all, I'm the senior here, so if anyone's supposed to be setting an example, it's me, not Keisuke. Second of all, he's not even studying. He's humming to himself and writing down music whatevers. Though as much as I want to be petty and correct her on her wrong assumption, I assume there's no harm in letting her believe that. At the end of the day, Keisuke is a studious guy after all. Yeah, for sure. Is everything okay with him? Is he doing well? Keisuke? Yeah, he's fine. What do you ask? I'm a little worried, that's all. Your friend has been away from his family for a little while. Won't they worry? If you'd asked me that a few weeks ago, I'd have agreed with you. As things stand right now, I know better. His family knows he's here. It's not a problem. I'm aware that they know. I'm just worried that the more time passes, the harder it gets for them to make up. After all, he's here because they've had a fight, right? Something like that. I'm not sure the word fight is a good enough description in this situation. His family are a bunch of monsters through and through. I don't care who they are. Nothing gives them the right to treat someone like that. From the very beginning, I didn't even think twice about it. When I heard of the situation, my first thought was to bring Keisuke to my place so I could make sure he's safe and taken care of. Make up. I seriously doubt something like that would be possible. Hiya. Just keep in mind, too much kindness can be cruel sometimes. Is this way you're saying you want him to leave? What? No, of course not. I'm barely home in the first place, so I barely even notice his presence. In fact, I think I've only seen Keisuke-kun once since he started staying over. It's more that, I think the easiest way to say it would be that I'm concerned him staying here might make things too difficult in the long term. I don't know that there's even a long term to think about here. I mean, I get it. Keisuke can't stay here forever. It wouldn't be reasonable for me to ask Mom and Aki to put up with that. I know they're really kind and that they want to help out, but I'll be taking advantage of their kindness. But still, I hate the idea of not being able to do something about it, and I hate the idea of Keisuke going back to his place even more than that. If I could, I'd make sure he would never have to go back to his house. But I can't. I don't have a place of my own or the money to do so. I hate feeling powerless like this. I spent the last few days trying not to think about it, but it's hard to do so when I'm asked directly. Sheesh, could these two be more similar? Both Mom and Aki asking me about Keisuke's situation just a few days apart from each other. I guess they're both thinking the same thing. Am I the only one that doesn't see it? It's too early in the morning for you to be spacing out, sweetie. Huh? You have the same look on your face you usually do when you're lost in thought. You're standing in the middle of the kitchen without saying anything. Right, sorry, I was thinking over what you said. I didn't say to make you freak out about it. I know that, what did you mean by that exactly? By what? That too much kindness can be cruel. Are you saying I shouldn't be helping him out? Not exactly. It's wonderful that you want to help your friend out. If anything, it makes me happy as a mother to see that you've matured into such a kind, considerate young man. But if all you do is shelter him from his problems, it'll get harder and harder for him to see through on his own. The longer you spend looking away from a hard situation, the harder it gets to face it in the future. After all, no one likes discomfort. It's only natural for someone to choose to avoid it. What you need to worry about is, are you making it too difficult for him to solve his problems in the future? Does he have any incentive to do so as is? That makes sense, I guess. I see what she's trying to say, but I can't bring myself to agree with it. How is it cruel to want to keep someone away from a bad situation? I don't get it. To begin with, Keisuke isn't the one that's in the wrong, so why does he have to be the one subjecting himself to that nest of vipers? Isn't making him go back the one thing that would be cruel? I'll think it over properly when I'm more awake. Of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you, sweetie. I only wanted to make sure everything was okay. I thought you and Keisuke-kun would have talked about it by now. But why would I ever do that? I want to keep him away from his problems. Why would the point in making him talk about going back? What would be the point in making him talk about wanting to go back? If anything, wouldn't mentioning it be an indirect way of saying I want him gone? That's just cruel. Since I don't have to cook, I'm just going to go back to my room and get dressed. I'll let Keisuke know breakfast is almost ready. Of course. I quickly walk back to my room. Hiya. Oh my god, those are some bara titties. Awooga. I quickly walk back to my room, rubbing the spot between my eyebrows as I notice the early signs of a headache beginning to show themselves. Why do people have to ambush me with stuff like this first thing in the morning? What am I even supposed to do now? You're back real quick. As soon as I walk in, I'm greeted to the sight of a white hair checking himself out in the mirror while adjusting his shirt's collar. No, see, if you check the chat, those are some big bara titties. At least I think those are bara titties. I can't really tell because, actually, maybe. Let me check. It is! Oh, hey, you're dressed already. Yes, I was planning on heading downstairs and keeping you company while you make breakfast. Though it looks like I took too long. What? Of course not. Mom was already cooking breakfast when I got downstairs, so I came up here to get dressed. I know you don't know much about cooking, but do you seriously think I'd manage to whip up breakfast for 3 people in under 5 minutes? She is? Oh dear. What? Is there a problem? Maybe. I've been here for quite a few days already, but I've barely said 2 words to your mother this entire time. I can't help but feel awkward thinking of having her cook me breakfast all of a sudden. Oh, yeah, Mom mentioned something like that too. I didn't get the feeling that she minded, though. You didn't talk to her because she wasn't home. It's not like you were ignoring her in her own house. I know, but even so, what kind of guest stays at someone's home for a week without even talking to their host? I'm your host. With all due respect, Yuichi. No. How so? You might live here too and be allowed to have guests over, but it's not like you own the house. It's her house. Technically, yes, you'd be right about that. But my family doesn't operate with this kind of yours and mine mentality. Regardless, at the end of the day, it's still true that she's the owner of the house I've been staying at, and I've failed to even properly greet her in my time here, or to introduce myself before staying over for so long. I thought of doing it a few times before, but the only times I knew she were home were when it was already too late at night or way too early in the morning. I suppose I could have knocked on her door regardless, but that would have likely been even more obnoxious. I suppose I could have gone downstairs and waited by the door to greet her before she left. The thought only really crossed my mind yesterday, but there's also the risk of coming across as a little creepy if... Oh god, there he goes mumbling to himself. Not only does he seem to have completely forgotten about me standing right here, but he's even reverted to that kind of overly formal language he uses sometimes. I could probably stop him, but my mind is too full for that at the moment. I end up deciding to let Keisuke mumble all he wants while getting myself dressed instead. Besides, it's not that difficult to tune someone out when they're speaking quietly. If anything, makes for some good background noise to keep me from getting absorbed in my own thoughts. What are you doing with that? What are you doing? Look at you go. I guess we both have this kind of tendency to overthink things, though I'm nowhere near as loud a thinker. It's just one of the habits I've begun to notice a little more as we've cohabitated these past few days. Overthinking ratings through the roof. What are you doing, mister? I am half tempted to post a picture of the... I'm getting sidetracked. I keep getting sidetracked. And that is bugging me. I know I put it up there for a reason, but I don't go, bye-bye. Forgot about it. But no, I'm half tempted to post a picture of my dog literally laying down on my bed right now. Just doing his own thing. What are you doing? I've certainly seen a few sides of Keisuke that I didn't even know existed until now. By the time I finish getting dressed, I turn around to see the hare clutching his head, mumbling even faster than before. It's pretty obvious that he's talked himself into a corner. I never thought I'd see someone lose an argument to themselves, yet here we are. This sure has been a weird week. Hang on, let me take a picture of him. What are you doing, mister? Gotta turn my flash on. Sorry, I'm going to... Okay. Here's the... Damn it. Hang on. Let me try and get a better picture. Alright, there we go. Okay, here's the thing. As soon as I pointed my phone at him to take a picture, he fucking posed. Not to ruin your fun, but I'm going to head downstairs to have breakfast. You're welcome to join if you're done arguing with yourself.
Huh? Oh yeah, of course. Food would be good.
So in the end, he ran himself in circles so hard that he completely forgot the thing he was worrying about in the first place. Man, the way his brain works astounds me sometimes. The two of us quickly head downstairs, with Keisuke continuing to mumble to himself every now and then along the way. Though at least he's quieted down a fair bit. He fixates on the smallest things sometimes. I'm back.
Welcome back, sweetie. Breakfast is almost ready. And hello there, Keisuke-kun. Good morning. Good morning, ma'am. Is something the matter? Your face is very tense. It's nothing. I'm sorry I haven't been a better guest.
What?
Yuichi-kun, what did you say to him?
I didn't say anything.
It's time to drink water.
He got this idea in his head all on his own. Alright, let me, close the door. What are you doing, mister? Believe it or not, his name isn't Mister. The dog's name isn't Mister. What are you doing, mister? Of course, his actual name, I'm going to keep secret. There we go. Seriously, who starts a conversation like that? Of course he's not going to know what you're talking about, you idiot.
Keisuke-kun, what's this about? You've been nothing but a good guest.
Told you.
I barely interacted with you while staying here, even though this is your house.
Is this what this is about? Don't worry, it's no big deal.
But...
Told you.
You don't have to repeat yourself.
I am barely ever home in the first place. Of course we wouldn't have many chances to interact. If anything, I should be the one apologizing for not checking up on you since you're our guest.
What? There's no need for you to do that, ma'am.
I do need to say, you are so polite. That's very rare, especially for a boy your age. I'm happy to see my son has been keeping such good company.
I'm not...
I gently place a hand on his lower back, patting him softly. I suppose it's to be expected that Keisuke wouldn't be used to interacting with other people's families like this. He's never had many friends, and even with the ones he does have, he doesn't go to their houses a whole lot. Alright. Check Twitter, you will not be disappointed. He's never had many friends, and even with the ones he does have, he doesn't go to their houses a whole lot. I guess he's mentioned visiting Saya a few times before, but I sincerely doubt either of her parents would have been home at the time either. As nice as they are, they also have their hands full with their work.
Come on, have a seat. I'll start setting the table. I've made grilled mackerel, rice, and a few egg salad sandwiches. I hope there isn't something you don't eat mixed in.
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Is that so? I'm glad. It didn't even occur to me until I was almost done that I'd added some cream to the sandwiches. I really hope you don't have a problem with lactose. I know Sae-chan does.
Hiya.
No, ma'am. No such problems for me.
I'm glad. Sit. Aki should be coming downstairs any moment, too.
Oh yeah, he's been taking a little longer in the bath lately. Think it might be about time to go for a trim. He must be having a hard time dealing with all his fur getting tangled.
Ah, yes, I guess it's been a while since the last time, huh?
Is that a big problem for you guys?
Well, yeah. Our fur can grow pretty long and thick after all.
Huh, I've never thought about that. Hares tend to shed their seasonal coats pretty often, so it's never become so big as to be a problem.
Wow, I didn't know that. The more you know.
People tend not to think too much about how other circumstances might differ from their own. It's normal to assume that because something is normal to you, it'll be normal for others as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Really? The guy with the most abnormal life I've ever met has never thought that what's normal to him might not be normal to others? In fact, I'm pretty sure we talked about that exact topic at least a few times. Keisuke, are you just agreeing with whatever Mom says without thinking about it?
Do you boys have any plans for the day?
As she's setting up the table, Mom continues to make conversation as if it was all a given. I know that setting a table isn't exactly rocket science, but shouldn't you at least be careful and look at what you're doing when you're handling things that could burn you? Not really.
Well, I was actually wondering if you could go out today.
You were? That's the first I hear of it. Did something happen?
No. It's not a big deal or anything. I guess I've been feeling restless. That's about it.
Restless? How come?
Isn't it obvious? The regional tournament is next week. I feel restless and like I need to train more. I thought that would be a given.
Hiya. Oh yeah. I guess it really is next week, huh? Time sure flies.
How can you be so nonchalant about it?
It's not like it's a huge deal or anything. It's just regionals.
I see.
What? Oh, why are you looking at me like that?
Yuichi, please remember that things come easy to you, might not to others.
Huh?
Seriously, it's easy for you to say stuff like that since you always place high and qualify for the next stage as if it weren't a big deal. I barely managed to scrape through last year.
Oh. Oh. Yikes. I completely forgot about that. That's true. Keisuke's only barely got a spot on the All Japan Junior Tournament last year, and even then, he got eliminated really early in the competition. So sorry, I wasn't thinking about it.
I noticed.
Sorry. I swear it wasn't on purpose. You'll be fine, though, with all the progress you've made recently. There's no way you'd place badly.
Do you really think that, or are you just saying it to appease me?
I do really think that. I mean, come on. You've been putting up way more of a fight recently. I actually have to work to win against you nowadays. As soon as the words escape my lips, I hear a mutual sigh from the two of them, catching me by surprise. Huh? What's the matter?
Seriously, do you even know how you come off sometimes?
How I sound? What do you mean?
I'm good to enough to force you to work to win, huh? Gee, thank you so much for telling me I'm finally worth you putting in effort.
Hold on a second. That's not how I meant it.
The worst part is that I know it. That. You really have goblins running around inside your brain, don't you?
Honestly, sometimes even I think so. Sorry.
Whatever. I knew what I signed up for when I chose you.
Trailing off before reaching the end of his sentence, Keisuke's eyes briefly go wide, flickering toward Mom for only a fraction of a second before he fully straightened himself on his chair.
When I chose to have you as my practice partner.
Ah, I see what's happening. I didn't even realize how close he'd come to outing us. Jesus, I was this close to death and I didn't even notice at first.
Yuichi, I don't really see what the problem is. If you can help Keisuke-kun with his practice, why don't you? Frankly, it's the least you can do after your rude comment from earlier.
I was trying to compliment him, but yeah, I see your point. I don't mind. It's not like a little more practice wouldn't help me out either.
No, you're already good enough as is. You could stand to stop progressing for a little while.
Huh?
It's so frustrating how you managed to blaze right past me when I finally feel like I'm catching up.
Yeah. I've heard that sentiment echoed by other people before. Sorry? I don't really know what to say. And considering how badly I botched my earlier attempt at complimenting you, I don't want to risk apologizing or saying something else due to the risk of sounding condescending. My. Now that's something I've heard Aki muttering to himself a few times already. For real?
As I suspected, him and I truly are kindred spirits.
Please don't bond with my brother over your shared frustration with me. Morning. Finally. I was starting to think you'd never come down. Shush.
Sweetie, your fur's looking a bit long. Maybe we should schedule a trim?
What? Do we really have to?
It would be best. Aren't you having trouble in the bath lately?
Yeah, but I still would rather not. Aw, his poor little Aki embarrassed.
Yuichi!
I'm not you. What? If that's not the reason, then why don't you want to get your fur trimmed? It takes too long. Do you have nay idea how hard it is to stay still for that long? Really? That's your reason? Yes!
I don't know, Akiyoshi-kun. There's something profoundly relaxing about the process. The scented candles, the aroma oils, the moisturizing lotions, the soothing music, and don't even get me started on the massage.
Keisuke.
What?
Keisuke-san, we really do come from different worlds, huh?
What? What's that supposed to mean?
I give the confused hair a pat on the back.
Either way, it's good that you came down when you did. Breakfast is pretty much ready.
Oh, good! I haven't had your cooking in a while.
It hasn't been that long, has it?
I think it's been a couple weeks.
I really need to work some more breaks into my schedule.
None of us would complain, that's for sure. It'd be really nice.
The problem is that it's hard to find a stopping point. Every time I tell myself I'll take a few days off after finishing an important document, I get swamped with lots of other high priority work right before I'm done.
That's because your co-workers keep taking time off and you cover for them.
Our work is important. I can't just let it idle.
Your family is important too! Or at least that's what I want to say, but I know it wouldn't solve anything. It's not like Mom doesn't feel bad about it. It'd just be making her feel even guiltier with no actual solution in sight. Ugh, what is with me and finding a way to surround myself with workaholics?
If it's okay for me to ask, what is it that you do, ma'am?
Huh? Has Uichi not mentioned it to you before?
In very vague terms, you told me that you work a lot and are in law. Not much more past that.
I give you all the important information.
Hard disagree.
Well, I suppose it would be difficult for him to explain. I don't tend to talk about work all that much when I'm home. I don't want my time with them to be spoiled by it. So I try to enforce strict separation between my work and home life.
You mean other than when you're locking yourself in your room to work?
Yes. I suppose you're right about that, too.
Aniki, don't make Mom feel bad. I was joking, relax.
I work for a firm that specializes in criminal defense. We mostly handle appeals from clients that have been let go from their prior attorneys. Though I haven't dealt with that particular front for a few years.
Whoa. That's a lot heavier than I expected. I don't blame you for distancing yourself from that part. Being a defense attorney is already really difficult over here, and there aren't that many willing to do it. To work on appeals, though, those rarely go anywhere. I don't think I'd be able to handle the pressure either.
Wait for it.
Well, I don't distance myself from appellate work because of that. Our firm started working with other defense attorneys in the country to attempt to introduce a series of amendments to the Supreme Court in an effort to restructure the judicial system. I've been working on that, so I had to step away from everyday trial law.
Huh?
Yep, pretty ridiculous, right?
Yuichi-kun, stop that.
Stop what?
That goofy look on your face and the gesturing. Stop it.
Aww. I make no effort to hide my amusement. I guess my poking Keisuke really, while laughing, was too much for Mom to let slide. In my defense, the dude is completely frozen in shock. How is that not funny?
I'm sorry. I can't seem to pick my jaw up from the floor.
You don't need to act so surprised. It's not that big a deal.
It's a huge deal. You can completely change the face of Japanese justice system.
It's a nice sentiment, but any meaningful change is still far off, I'm afraid. We might be laying down a foundation of sorts, but with motions like these are introduced every now and again only to get quashed without much resistance. We're just making it a little bit harder to drown them out with every new one that pops up.
That's unfortunate.
Changing such a fundamental aspect of an entire nation doesn't happen overnight. I'm not even sure I'll still be practicing by the time the seeds we've planted bear fruit.
Oh.
Now you see why I hardly say anything about her being away so often. I mean, sure, I want my mom around the house more often, but it's hard to say, please give me attention, at the expense of an entire country. I suppose it might be a bit of an exaggeration, but that's what it feels like. Even Aki learned a couple years ago to stop asking. It just makes mom feel guiltier every time.
How long have you been at this?
3.5 years, maybe 4.
After a certain point, you start losing track of time. There's a lot of bureaucracy to trudge through at every step of the way. Even the most minor documents have to go through dozens of people before we get any kind of response. When you're constantly running around in circles like that, you start to lose track of things.
Remind me never to go into law. Or public service.
Okay, hey, Keisuke, never go into law or public service.
Later! Remind me later.
You didn't specify.
Ugh.
As we slowly worked through our meal, Keisuke took the opportunity to continue asking my mom a few more questions in an effort to get to know her. Was it at all obvious that he was trying to make up for, in his own words, being a bad guest? A little. Did she care? Nope. Though I told him so from the start. Whatever, if it makes him feel better, what's the harm? Once we were all done, Mom began clearing out the table with mine and Aki's help. Keisuke tried to offer his, but was summarily rejected by all three of us, leaving him fidgeting on his seat. I won't lie, he's kind of cute when he's like that.
Thanks for the help, you two. Yuichi-kun, why don't you and Keisuke-kun get ready to go out? Well, you wanted to practice today, isn't that right?
Yes, ma'am. But are you sure you don't need any help?
Don't worry. I'd washed most of the pots and pans while plating up. There isn't that much that he's doing. Besides, how much housework Yuichi does all the time, it's only fair that he gets a pass on it.
What about me? Aren't you going to mention the work I do too? You keep your room tidy and you wash the dishes when I ask you. There isn't much to praise there.
Yuichi!
What? Couldn't kill him to at least vacuum once in a while? Yeesh, why am I suddenly getting glared at? You know I'm right!
You can be right and still be a jerk, you know.
What? Did you read my mind?
Didn't need to. You can be quite predictable sometimes.
What? Thanks, Keisuke-san. I'm just going to get my gear and head out. Come with me if you want. Not wanting to deal with Keisuke wearing that smug smile of his, I turned on my heels and declared I was leaving, which didn't do much to hide my embarrassment, but at least it meant I got to look away. Keisuke followed behind me without missing a beat, almost as if he was expecting me to do that, which just annoyed me even more. The surprise, though, was that Aki followed us as well, jumping on my way to intercept me, which was probably for the better since I did hear him calling out to us and made no effort to stop. Are you two going to practice?
Yes, I don't feel 100% confident for the tournament next week just yet. So I asked Yuichi to play me for a bit. I'm going to need all the practice I can get.
In that case, can I come too? Really? We're not going to have someone for you to play against. I'm not exactly sure what you're going to be able to do on your own. There are tons of drills I could do on my own if I wanted, but that's not even the point. I want to watch you guys play.
Are you sure? It might be boring.
Not at all. I can always learn from watching others play. Aw, is that what this is about? You want to watch your big bro play since you admire me so much? Well, in that case... Actually, I wanted to watch Keisuke-san play. What? God damn it.
Cracker taste in a toasty, crunchy chip. Ritz toasted chips.
QuickBooks Self-Employed maximizes potential tax deductions, uncover deductions, and maximize your tax savings this year.
When they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine, but you're not really fine, but you have to say because they would never understand. Hold up.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
What? play since we play each other, I guess. But why is he focusing on Keisuke?
Yuichi, that look on your face is real intense.
Hold up. I just want you to look at the face Keisuke is making. Look. What look? I don't have a look. I'm fine. Totally fine. Aniki, cut that out. Cut it out. Cut what out? I don't have it. Okay, this has gotten boring already. Enough of that. Excuse me? By the way, I wanted to watch you play since I think learning from your playstyle could help me out a lot more. I've tried basing myself on Aniki for a few years, but I don't have Aniki's physique. It's not like I'm weak, but I'm not particularly strong either. Compared to the other kids in my age group, I always score on the lower third in terms of strength. I can't hit the ball as fast or as hard as Aniki does, but I also don't have the kind of stamina Sayane does to make people run around until they get that point. I've been feeling stuck. Wait, really? That's what this is about? Now I feel bad for getting jealous.
I see, I get it. Akiyoshi-kun, I went through the same thing. Once you get past a certain level and start playing against higher ranked players, you really start to see everything that you lack. I'm not particularly strong or athletic either. For the longest time, I languished around the prefectural levels because I couldn't compete with the players who were. It wasn't until I figured out something I was good at and found a way to apply it to that when I started winning more consistently.
Really? I didn't know you went through that. It's not like your physique is bad. On the contrary, you have a pretty nice body.
I do?
Well, why are you getting all red all of a sudden? Wait, I didn't mean like that, you idiot. I mean, it's true that Keisuke has a really nice body, but I wasn't commenting on his look. I was just... Can you two... not... Hiya. Right, Aki is here. This isn't time to be acting all obvious and stuff like this.
As I was saying, I've never had the most athletic build, so I had to figure out alternate ways to win. Why do you think I was a complete nobody until late in our middle school years?
Come to think of it, I guess that's true. Never heard of you before my 3rd year of middle school. And even then, it's not like I heard much about him. It was more just a passing comment while I was walking around during a tournament. You're pretty skillful, so I thought you always had a playstyle like the one you have right now.
Most high-level professional athletes play a much more physical style of tennis. Sure, skillful players have their place, but there are very few of them at the top of the ladder. Why would I go for that?
And even then, most skillful players are already Asian. It tends to be a thing in most sports. We're just smaller and less athletic than the competition, so we have to make do in other ways. Come to think of it, I think Shoichi said something similar about Japan's volleyball team once. Something about how lots of other teams have a bunch of players over 2 meters tall, but Japan only has 1. Well, I suppose you're not wrong. Even by world standards, I'm not exactly that tall or that strong.
Hearing that from the strongest player in the current youth circuit doesn't make me feel any better.
Right? Sorry? Either way, my point is that I would like to watch Keisuke-san play if I can. I think it would really help me if I get some references from a player that found a different way to stand out. I don't want to keep losing anymore. I can barely even graduate past the prefectural stage.
Of course. If I can be of help to younger players, then I definitely want to do what I can.
Thanks, Keisuke-san! Wow. Aki looks so happy about something so small. Thought I was doing a good job of helping him out and nurturing him along the way. Have I been overlooking something? Sometime later. It's a good thing Keisuke decided to call ahead and check if there was an available court for us to use. I guess due to how close to the tournament we are, most players are hogging the courts in the local tennis club. Keisuke called 6 of the ones that allow rental by non-members, but all of them are fully booked. We couldn't go to the private club Aki goes to use either, since the place doesn't allow non-members to use our courts at all. In the end, Keisuke had the brilliant idea of calling Shoichi, who managed to pull a few strings to get us access to the school gym. Usually I'd be the first one making jokes about prefectural treatment and corruption, yada yada yada, but in this case, I think it's in my best interest to shut up and take the win. Whoa! You guys' gym building is a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
Right? I was also pretty impressed at the facilities. I really didn't expect them to be so nice.
Urishihara, I get, but why are you so surprised that the courts here are nice, Saki-kun?
What do you mean? What do you mean me you get?
I don't know. I know the club I go to is kind of expensive, so I expected the courts there to be a lot nicer. They're still nicer than your schools, but not by that much. Gotta remember, you're paying for the convenience of being able to use them whenever you want. Our courts are usually only usable either during school hours or with the teacher's supervision. And while he might have pleasantly surprised me quite a few times in the past couple months, I seriously doubt Coach would have shown up on a Sunday just to let the two of us practice with no prior warning. I guess that makes sense.
Speaking of supervision, just to make sure I got it right, are you going to be here with us the entire time, Urata?
Is that going to be a problem? Because I can go back and lock things back up, you know. I have better things I could be doing on a Sunday morning.
Ah, yes, as evidenced by your coming here promptly without a moment's delay. Quite busy indeed.
Shut up! Can we please not start? You two have been so good about not bickering lately. We're not really bickering.
Haven't you heard of banter, Yuichi?
I'm not even going to pretend like I understand whatever kind of weird friendship you two have. Can we just play instead? It's been a while since I've seen the two of you play each other. This will be pretty fun. Was that why you dropped everything to come open the building for us? You wanted to watch them play? Maybe. Aki quickly scuttles up the Empire chair, plopping himself down on it while almost bouncing up and down on his seat in glee. You're going to be the umpire, Aki? Yeah, there's no better seat for me to watch you guys closely. I can see everything up here.
Sounds good to me. Urata, do you mind playing ball boy? Just so we don't leave that much of a mess.
Sure, someone has to anyway.
Good boy. Go fetch.
Careful I don't end up shoving those balls down your throat. Shoichi. 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 Please. Please, Shoichi. Not in front of Aki. Not in front of Aki. I know they say this is just friendly banter, but I seriously can't tell with these two. Can you guys chill? Just a bit. You always make me feel like I'm about to witness a fight.
Aw, you're no fun.
I don't really see what the problem is, but sure. You're not saying what the problem is as good a half problem. Let's just warm up and get this started, please. The sooner we start playing, the sooner I stop having to deal with this potential ticking time bomb. With a nod, Keisuke and I place our bags on the floor and start a quick warm-up routine. Some stretches, lunges, a few quick sprints to get our blood pumping and ready to play. Once we finish, we play rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets to serve first. Keisuke either predicts that I'm going to play scissors or just throws a rock randomly, but he ultimately gets to decide.
You can serve first. In exchange, I get that side of the court.
Keisuke points at the far side from the entrance with a smile. I have a certain sense of deja vu from this. Are you sure you want me to serve first?
Yeah, it's not a problem.
I guess? I seem to recall us having a problem last time you chose to let me serve. Although he's improved a lot since then, both in his skills and his handling of his temper, so I suppose it might be fine. I really don't want to deal with an angry Keisuke, though. Keisuke and I do a few quick drills, hitting the ball back and forth to each other so we can finish our warm-up. At least he seems at ease. That's a huge step from the first time we played against each other. You all good to go? I have to speak up a little for him to hear me from his side of the court. Keisuke nods and gets into position. Ready whenever you guys are. I take a quick look to the side where I see Aki happily settled into the umpire chair, as well as Shoichi standing around next to it. If I were in his shoes, I'd want to sit down to watch, but I guess he can't do that if he's going to be our ball boy. Keisuke and I both stand at the ready. Once I see that he's prepared, I begin my own pre-serve routine, grabbing one of the balls I'd stuffed in my pockets and bouncing it a few times. Once I've bounced it in my usual number of times, I clutch it tightly in my hand, raising my head to look at the court. I can quickly feel my switch flipping on, and with a quick motion, I toss the ball in the air. I continue to watch as Yuichi and Urata and Rushihara hit the ball back and forth, playing at a high intensity from the very start of their match. Part of me can't help but feeling a little surprised. Last time I saw Rushihara play was during the last tournament. Compared to that, 40-30. Yeah. I'm not just imagining things, am I? Not only Rushihara, but Yuichi as well. Both of them have gotten a lot better. If I were to just compare their progress based on the gap between them, it would look like they haven't changed that much. But, yeah, that's not it that way. They both improved a ton, especially Rushihara. While he's not holding his own as much as he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth, he's still putting actual pressure on Yuichi. The Rushihara I knew before could never do that. To begin with, he used to throw a temper tantrum whenever he started getting back, which would quickly be followed by him self-destructing and the quality of his play taking a sharp nosedive. Right now, he's staying cool and collected. The variety of his attacks doesn't diminish, and he's constantly keeping Yuichi guessing. Put it another way, and if the gap of physical ability and natural instincts between these two weren't so ridiculous, Urushihara would probably be leading this match right now. Even if Yuichi had somewhat higher base stats, I feel like Urushihara would still win. Really, the only reason he's not right now is because of the equivalent of a level 10 playing against a level 50. There's a certain point where strategy can't make a dent on naturally higher stats. Game, Aniki, 5-2. Ugh. Once they finish their 7th game, the two of them head back to the bench to take a quick break. Urushihara slumps onto his seat, grabbing his towel and covering his head with it. Yuichi, on the other hand, stands next to me, merely grabbing the towel I hand out to him and wiping his face. Urushihara's gotten way better, huh? I mean, yeah, it's been months since you last saw him play. I don't think that quite explains it. This is way too big an improvement to come that naturally. Well, we've been playing against each other pretty often, so isn't it normal that he'd get better? Good practice partners makes all the difference. Then how did you improve that much in this short amount of time? I don't want to be rude, but while you might be a great partner for Urushihara to train, the inverse isn't exactly true. He would, though. Although I should probably refrain from saying that. I wouldn't want to risk Urushihara overhearing it and throwing him off of his game. If you say so, it still feels like a huge jump compared to where he was a few months ago. Keisuke was always good. He just needed the experience to keep his cool when things aren't going well. He's a pretty smart guy. If he stays calm, he'll eventually find an opening. Sucks for me, but he's gotten way more annoying to play against than before. Not to mention that his sharp angle shots are pretty killer. If he goads me into an unfavorable position, he can really make me suffer. What? Nothing. Since when have these two gotten so chummy? Remember Yuichi hating the very idea of playing with Urushihara not too long ago. Now he seems to have paid so much attention to the guy that he can notice all these tiny details. Yuichi Aino doesn't care about any other players. I doubt he could describe Sayachan's playstyle as well as he does Urushihara. Damn it! Why am I feeling annoyed all of a sudden? Time's up. Whoa, crap, I forgot to drink water! Yuichi tosses his towel back on the bench, grabbing his water bottle and quickly downing a few sips before running back to the court. Despite having lost during his last serve game, Urushihara shows no signs of being nervous or rattled in any way, confidently serving the ball at a really nasty spot, with Yuichi barely managing to tap it back. Seems like his shot placement is also getting sharper as the game goes on. At this rate, I'm not sure if Yuichi will be able to break his serve again. He'll probably still win this set, but it will remain to be seen whether that'll be the case for the next ones. Man, is Urushihara actually going to manage to drag his set into a tiebreak today? While these thoughts continue to run through my head, I also notice a strange sense of unease bubbling just below the surface every time those two talk to or gesture at each other after a point. Why is that? Game, Aniki, 7-5. After Aki announces the end of our 8th set, I immediately let go of my racket. Lying down on the ground before my knees have the chance to buckle. God, this is it, right? We're done.
Just one more set.
No way, you lunatic! My legs feel like they're on fire! Playing 5 sets is already exhausting on a good day, but with Keisuke, every rally feels like it goes on forever. My body is so heavy, it's like I played 3 full set matches all in one. You can't even stand anymore, Urushihara. Give it up.
Sure I can.
Despite it feeling like a huge hurdle, I managed to raise my head just enough to see Keisuke struggling to get back on his feet. Keisuke-san, you look like a newborn deer. To put it mildly.
Ugh.
Keisuke collapses to the floor once again, devolving into a mess of gasping and sweat. Not that I'm all that different at the moment.
I didn't win a single set.
You've gotten way better, though. You almost won the last 2 sets.
Doesn't really count. I have way more stamina than you. I was just trying to outlast you at that point.
You're not wrong, but still. I'm not lying when I say he's improved a lot. His backhand has become a lot more consistent, so there aren't any obvious weaknesses to explore. His footwork's improved, his control has also improved. I feel like every single aspect of his game has gone up a few levels. I mean, even Shoichi was shocked, and he's not exactly the kindest judge when it comes to Keisuke. I force myself back onto my feet, even though a little part of me feels like death right now. That little part would be my legs, the soles of my feet, my lungs, my arms, pretty much all of me. Can we please go home? I can't wait to be out of these clothes.
Okay. That's fair.
Having climbed down from the umpire chair, Aki and Shoichi quickly make their way to Keisuke, both of them helping him get back on his feet.
My feet will not be happy with me tomorrow.
You're an idiot for going that hard just days before your competition. What would have happened if one of you ended up getting injured from overworking? Idiot.
You're the last person that gets to say that to me.
Even I'm more reasonable than that. It's been almost 8 hours. I'm starving.
I guess it is true that we've been at it for a while.
I won't lie. I'm hungry too.
Sorry, Akiyoshi-kun.
It's okay. I got to learn a lot watching you. Well, I suppose if there's someone to serve as a template for you, Urushiharu would be the best bet. I thought so too. Keisuke stumbles towards his back, foregoing Shoichi's support after the first few steps. Having already wiped myself a little bit and finished up all the water in my bottle, I offer Keisuke one of my fresh towels once I notice himself rummaging through his bag after something.
Oh, thanks, Yuichi. I really thought I'd packed more than a couple of them.
That's alright. I don't think either of us expected to spend this long at it. My towels are soaked.
Yeah.
How about we go out and grab a quick bite to eat? It'll be my treat. You don't need to do that. Please, I insist. I'm already hungry. Watching the two of you play for that long made my body hurt. I need to eat something to get back all the energy you spent, and I doubt Yuichi will want to cook once he gets home. That's a good point.
In that case, I'm going to need a shower more than ever.
You were always going to shower before leaving. Don't lie.
I don't like being gross and sweaty for that long if I don't have to, okay?
In that case, Aniki, you're going to need a shower too. If we swing by the house right now for you to take a bath, I'm pretty sure you'd never leave. Yeah, I was thinking of just that. That was surprisingly painless. I thought you'd kick and scream about hating showering here. It's only me and Keisuke. I'm fine in that case. That's what have you been so okay about showering with Urushiharu? Shoichi mumbles something that I can't quite make out, but I don't really feel like asking him about it right now. Number one priority is getting out of these clothes and getting some hot water on me ASAP. Can you lend me your shampoo, Keisuke? I don't bring any.
Sure.
Wait for you two outside. Just try not to take too long. I'm hungry.
We won't, I promise.
I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the sensor. While Keisuke and I set our bags on a random bench inside the locker room, Aoki and Shoichi head outside to wait for us by the gate, thankfully affording us a little bit of privacy. We quickly grab our clothes and other necessities, with me needing to sponge off from Keisuke in regards to soap, shampoo, bath towel, and yes, sponge. We both get undressed, with me heading into the shower room ahead of Keisuke since I had fewer things to fetch. Get into a random stall, turning on the hot water as soon as I do. The feeling of relief when the water falls on me is indescribable. My muscles scream in a mixture of joy and agony at the sensation. A few seconds after I've gotten in, the door to my stall, which I'd closed behind me, quickly opens up again. Oh no! I turn around, wide-eyed, to see a naked Keisuke right behind me. What are you doing?
We're sharing pretty much all of our bath supplies. It doesn't really make sense for us to be in different stalls. That'd just be a lot of tossing stuff back and forth.
I guess, but at least warn me first.
Sorry, I didn't think it would be a problem given that we are, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said to warn me first.
Do you need to get out and grab do you need to get out and grab my own stall?
You're fine.
Good. I really didn't want to wash my own back. I feel like my muscles would seize up if I tried to reach that far behind myself.
That's a good point, yeah. I don't want to wash my own back either. It's a good thing the shower stalls aren't cramped, otherwise this would be a lot more awkward. They are only made to fit one person, but at least there's enough room for us both to stand without bumping into each other.
Since you're soaking yourself first, do you want me to start with your back?
As long as I can have June, I will be happy. Hang on, I need to take care of my front first.
I can do that for you too if you want.
Really? That'd be nice. Keisuke nods, grabbing his bottle of shampoo and pulling up a good amount of it on his palm. I turn off the shower water for a little while so the shampoo doesn't get washed away. I shiver for a second at the sudden touch, but Keisuke quickly gets to work rubbing it into my fur, starting with my neck and working his way down to my chest. He diligently rubs me with it, shifting between lathering me with shampoo using the tips of his fingers and kneading my muscles with the palm of his hand. Simply put, I'm in heaven. This is halfway between a shower and a massage, and I'm all for it. Man, this feels great.
Your fur might be quite thick, but truth is, your muscles are still plenty noticeable under it. I've never had the opportunity to touch you this much before, so I didn't know just how defined they are.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Keisuke reaches the area right between my navel and my groin, leaving my neck, chest, stomach, and arms fully coated in a layer of citrusy-smelling bubbles. With a quick groan, Keisuke gets on his knees, continuing to spread the shampoo on my thighs and legs.
By the way, I kind of wanted to talk to you about something.
Sure, what is it?
I know I've been staying at your place for a while. I was thinking that I should probably go home after we get back from the tournament.
Oh, what was that? What it?
Now? You're talking about that now? Yes, it was NSFW stuff. You just... Jesus fucking Christ, I can't. This is way too much. I've never had mood whiplash quite this bad.
I don't want to take advantage of you and your family's hospitality. Besides, the longer I stay away from home, the less I want to go back. I feel like I need to get back before I chicken out entirely. Things won't be pretty if my grandmother ends up sending someone to retrieve me.
Sure, that makes sense. I don't even know what to say. I don't think I'm in the right situation to have this conversation.
Still, I'm really grateful for your help, for all your help so far. I don't know what I would have done without you.
I'm sure you would have been fine regardless.
Maybe if I had gone to stay with Alex, but that would have put both of us in an awkward situation. Given that I'm his boss and everything, it would feel like a weird imposition.
Weirder than this?
Man, your shoulders are really tense. Are you okay?
I don't even know anymore. I'm fine.
If you say so, I'm all done. You can turn the shower back on to rinse.
Thanks. I do as he says, not turning around for the whole time that he was taking care of my back, since I don't want him to see the look on my face. Keisuke, your sense of timing is ridiculous. At least the hot water helps a little bit. I don't ever want to get out.
You'll have to eventually. I need a shower too, you know.
I know. Just give me a second. I want to say just give me until this thing goes down. Ah, fuck. But I think we'd end up waiting around for too long if I did say that. Fuck, I said it. Fuck. I didn't even think about it until after I'd said it. Fuck. I ended up turning around and stepping out from under the shower once that's probably Keisuke quickly takes my place under the water, exhaling as soon as he feels the warmth hitting him, his fur compacting and clinging tightly to his body as it gets progressively more soaked.
This feels great.
Told you. Keisuke rubs his face a few times while he lets the water fully soak his front. He eventually turns around so it can do the same to his back, which is...
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Oh, thank God, it's over!
Drink water. It's time to drink
Keisuke turns the shower back on, rinsing off the soap until his fur is completely clean. We swap places a few times, enjoying the hot water while we still can before we both agree that we've been at it long enough. Keisuke goes out and dries himself up first. Since it's his towel, it's only fair that he gets to use it first. Once we're both properly dried, or as dry as we can be without a blow dryer, we go back to the locker room to put our clothes back on. Thank God I had the sense to bring a change of clothes with me.
Unfortunately, ThetaDog.exe has stopped working. If the problem persists, please contact Microsoft.
Thank the Lord God in heaven that it's over. As soon as we step out, we see Shoichi and Aki by the gate. While Aki is sitting calmly and using his phone, Shoichi is pacing impatiently. Finally! I was starting to think you'd never show up. I was about to head inside and see what was taking so long. That's not necessary! Shoichi, don't be like that. Aniki's fur takes a long time to dry, especially if all he has is a towel. Yeah, and Keisuke and I had to share a towel. It wasn't even dry by the time I got to use it. Still, sun is almost setting. I can't afford to get home that late. Sorry. Oh man, thank God I kept my impulses in check. That would have been so awkward if Shoichi had walked in on us. After this, I kind of feel like I need to head to a shrine and offer a little prayer and thanks for escaping that particular wreck. Where should we go? I'd rather not go anywhere that might take too long. I kind of want to have some mood on. If you don't mind a bit of a trip, the old shopping district has a noodle stand that makes some great broth. Ramen, udon, somen. It's all pretty good there. I really hope you're not talking about the place that gives me food poisoning. I told you! That was a problem with his supplier giving him a contaminated batch of seafood. He traded suppliers after that. So it is that stand. Pinky promised that we won't have a problem this time? I'm side-eyeing Shoichi hard right now, but I eventually decided to let it go. If Shoichi trusts his hygiene standards, then I guess I'm a bit more inclined to believe that was a fluke. I'll trust you, Shoichi-ni.
I better not get sick from this.
You won't. Please trust me a little? We're gonna leave off here tonight. After what I just witnessed... anyways. Stay safe, have a good night. And I will see you all tomorrow.